Hi, my name is Yilver. Next, I'm going to present my project about strengthening the vocabulary through application in context of students in grade 6.1 and 6.2 of the Institución Educativa Municipio de Miami. This research project seeks to optimize the English vocabulary learning process and English communication skills through different activities that lead to improving students' motivation, understanding, and performance in the English subject. The general objective is develop a pedagogical proposal which motivates students and guide the teaching of English, promoting the use of vocabulary applied in their context. The specific objectives are five. First one, it's implement vocabulary acquisition and strengthen communication skills. The second one, improve the learning process of the sixth grade students of the Institución Educativa Municipio de Miami. The third one is promote the learning of the English language as means of communication. The fourth is apply new content using it in the student's context. And the last one is make partial use of technology to motivate the students to learn new content. Okay, let's continue with the theoretical framework. Firstly, let's talk about learning. In the concept of learning, several definitions are included that are present from different theoretical currents. Starting from that it is ambiguous to consolidate a definition that brings together and clarifies an idea perfectly focused on what refers to learning. So, learning is resumed from a cognitive position that develops and exemplifies the functions of thinking and acquisition of knowledge. Let's continue with vocabulary. Vocabulary must be an important reference within the forms of language acquisition and assimilation. Without this, the grammar would be weak and without the structure. So the vocabulary represents and exposes the lexical word that each student has. The importance of context in vocabulary. In order for vocabulary to be taught within a given environment in a specific context, it is necessary to understand the characteristics that can recreate the educational environment. Let's continue with motivation. Motivation plays an essential role in the daily task of human beings. This is evident in the objectives they set, in the activities they develop, and of course in the knowledge they aim to have. Learning requires motivation. This is the main engine, since this is what creates the interest of the students. Motivation is an art that stimulates interest, a way of making effort enjoyable, an ability to know how to present values that are able of awakening impulses, tendencies, and interest. Methodology. The approach of this research is qualitative, characterized by being used in people studying the interaction between them, taking into account what they say and how they act in the social and cultural scenario. According to Jimenez Dominguez, qualitative research can be seen as the attempt to obtain a deep understanding of the meanings and definitions of the situation as it is presented to us by people, rather than the production of a quantitative measure of its characteristics or conduct. The chosen design is research action. Lewin defined research action as a form of self-reflective questioning carried out by the participants themselves on certain occasions with the aim of improving the rationality and justice of situations, of the educational social practice itself, with the aim of improving also objective, of improving knowledge of said practice and of the situations in which the action is carried out. For Leon and Montero, it represents the study of a social context where, through a research process which spiral steps, research is carried out at the same time as intervention is made. Cons- Consequently, this design allows feedback as a reciprocal procedure in which research drives action, with permanent improvements and transformation in the intervention within the classroom. Findings. After several weeks of work at the institution, it can be determined that the development of the proposal was relevant and the students were motivated and actively participated. In addition, interest was the first factor to work on when teaching a new language, since many students contextualize the content by applying it to their daily life. This proposal helped to seek teaching alternatives and encourage the use of recreational activities or strategies to strengthen the vocabulary in the English language of the sixth grade students of the Institución Educativa Municipio de Miami. The students learn in a more dynamic way and a motivating way, where they perceive the English as a necessary tool for their future. The observed findings were documented in the description, interpretation, and reflection of the file diaries and key evidence of the process. In the same way, the results were positive, such as the change in their perception of English, interest and participation in classes and activities, management of communication skills in a new language, and general performance in the area. Another relevant aspect was to change the perception of the English language and improve their communication skills. Was the constant review of sentences in each of the classes, with the topics addressed in them, and this way allowing them to contribute to the class. Conclusions. The observed findings were documented in the description, interpretation, and reflection of the file diaries as key evidence of the process. In the same way, the results were positive, such as the change in their perception of English, interest and participation in classes and activities, management of communication skills in a new language, and general performance in the perception and appreciation of English language change at the end of the application of the proposal, breaking mental barriers that prevented students from enjoying and learning English as a new language. Thanks to the inclusion of students in the design of the activities that were carried out and had good results, allowing that interest to prepare and participate to show their skills. The proper didactic management of the English classes allowed the inclusion of opinions, the development of games and activities, which we were executed in relation to the topics, addressed and improved interest, in addition to general performance in the. It is important to highlight that the management of the issues on which the students studied were approached in a didactic manner focused on meaningful learning, contextualizing the topics and carrying them out through games such as flashcards, team games, and making partial use of multimedia tools. It's also important to mention that the implementation of ICTs in the classroom is a great resource and teaching support, as it allows the students to solve questions autonomously and make significant contributions, teaching them to self-regulate regarding their use in the classroom and to use the other digital tools well. Further considerations. Activities that continue to motivate them to take part in the class. Strategies to involve them should be reviewed and put into practice. Likewise, the importance of having a set of rules for arrival and classwork is deduced to manage aspects of discipline from the beginning to the class to the end. It is recommended to future researchers who have an interest in the project the completion of more integrative and, as far as possible, inclusive strategies that allow the participation of the different talents and abilities of students from their zones of proximal development, taking into account mediation in an effective development process and a potential development. Thank you very much.